you've said it's been your toughest week. Let's talk about them individually. First up, the Dixons. How have you viewed their progress?
The Dixons have been a really, really interesting family for me because Harrison came in with a range of problems. He was not just an eating problem, he was also a sleeping problem, and he was most specifically a behaviour problem, a serious behaviour problem. I decided not to go in hard on each of the behaviours with a very specific psychological plan of attack, if you like, but I just pulled back and worked much more on the quality of the relationship between the parents and the child. My thinking, my hypothesis was, if this child gets a better relationship with his parents, gets more positive feedback and the bond grows, then the other behaviours will fall into place, and that's exactly what we've seen. The issues for the Dixons were that this child's behaviour was representing a huge amount of unspoken sadness and hostility within the family. And sometimes when you have children with behaviour problems, it's more about the dynamics within the family than necessarily that the parents themselves are getting their parenting a bit wrong. And I think the conversation about Ellie Mae, the little baby girl that died, I think the conversations about Darren and Sarah's relationship and how, I suppose, that's kind of died in a way. And all the other issues that they have been talking about while they've been in the house, Darren crying for the second time in his life about losing his father. I think the more they've been able to open up about that, the more relaxed and affectionate and happy they've become. You've just, like, Harrison's like a little barometer, that his behaviour's just come down.
OK. So what's your big challenge for them today?
Do you remember when they first came in, I did some drawing with Harrison?
Yeah.
And do you remember the faces he drew?
Made me cry.
Yeah, little sad, they're sad faces. Yeah. And today I'm going to see whether he puts a smile on his face.
Let's talk about the pits.
I was worried when they came in because they came in at the end of Monday, so effectively they'd lost a whole day of me observing them and a whole first day of treatment. I suppose the problem that was brought in was breastfeeding, but actually the breastfeeding was linked to so many other issues, particularly Tony and Alex's relationship issues. For me, the breakthrough with Alex and Tony was when I identified that Tony was very practical about the breastfeeding. Alex was very emotional. She held all the emotional content, he held all the sort of practical content, and they were like this. And as soon as the two halves fused and he put his arms around her and showed that he could understand where she was coming from emotionally, and she then said, right, OK, we're going to do this and this is how we're going to do it, and she became a bit more practical, it just happened.
What's the final task for the pits?
I want to look at how they can work together as a team. How assertively they can manage a situation which involves the children, but particularly, are they leaving here as a team? Are they united or not? And I'm going to do it through creativity. The kids are going to have a little party this afternoon, as they always do on a Friday in the house, and there's going to be a little play, and they're going to write the play and they're going to direct the children in the play.
Let's talk about Sarah McMillan. She's come on leaps and bounds, hasn't she? When they arrived, Kelsey would have real tantrums. They had quite an explosive relationship, I think I can use that word, and they did time-outs, but it was restraining time-outs. She didn't know what to do. How do you think they've done?
I think she's done really well, I do, but Sarah's the one that's worrying me the most at the moment. What I've actually found particularly over the last couple of days, but definitely yesterday, I've noticed is that she's actually overusing time out. Time out is a last resort technique. It's like when all else has failed. You have been creative, you have tried to walk away and ignore, you have distracted, you have diverted, you have done everything you can to manage your child in a positive way, and if none of that works, then time out. But time out's suddenly becoming used for things that she shouldn't need to, and that's what I need to address with her this morning.